Robin says to me, he goes, so, how many weeks is this going to be? 8 or 9 weeks? I was like, yeah, if I was doing Lawrence of Arabia. I don't think he refers to me as Bob Wood. Do you have any questions? How's that?
There's one over there.
I can't see so well. Hey.
Yeah, first Daryl Sabara played an awesome douchebag, and second of all to Bobcat, why Bruce Hornsby?
What did Bruce Hornsby ever do to you, Bobcat? Bruce Hornsby, the reality of it was that I had Michael Bublé in mind, and then I truly couldn't imagine. I wanted somebody that Robin's character would actually be a fan of, somebody, Jimmy Kimmel's brother John recommended Bruce, and I knew a buddy who had produced his album back in the day, and I called him up and I said, hey, are you still friends with Bruce Hornsby? And then he laughed because he was working on his new album. And Bruce clearly has a sense of humor. Would you agree, or? Because he watched the movie and he goes, that's funny when that part where Kyle says that Bruce Hornsby's a jerk. And I'm like, I didn't call you a jerk, but I was like, okay. But here's the deal. There's a couple things I like about Bruce Hornsby's involvement. One is that I always kind of had in mind when I was writing this movie, it was something along the lines of Harold and Maude, and a lot of those movies, those kind of movies. But the 70s movies where there would be Graduate, actually, speaking of Simon and Garfunkel, but something where there was like the voice of one artist kind of all through it, and folks, I don't think people realize that is a lot of Bruce Hornsby music all through it. That song Invisible is a brand new song, and just all that stuff. So I love the idea of I love the idea of using somebody who people have a preconceived notion of from the 80s and maybe giving him a chance in a different way. Speaking of that, at the newsstand, that's Chris from Nirvana. When Robin's looking at squirters and all that, yeah. So we shot the movie in Seattle, and I just felt that I was worried that Robin's character got over the death too quick. So I called up Chris because back in the day I used to open for Nirvana. I know it's all fucking weird to wrap your brain around. It's like the idea of Buddy Hackett opening for Hendrix, but I said, Chris, I'd like you to be in the movie, and we're talking. He's like, well, what's it about? I go, well, when someone dies, how people reinvent them and then try to make it all about themselves, and they lose sight of the people that actually knew the person and who the person really was. I don't know if you can relate to this at all. And then Chris just smiled. There's this huge empty bowl of shit. He's like, yeah, he's like, I'm in. So, and Chris really is a super sweet guy. And, Robin, it was weird. People were in character a lot, kind of. I was in character of a director. So Robin would be very sad and a lot of that stuff. And Chris was like going, Robin's so sad, I want to cheer him up. And I'm like, no, he's supposed to be sad. But that is true. I think it's just human nature when people are bummed out. Everybody would always be trying to make each other laugh. Try to make each other laugh, or try to get you to. Sometimes Daryl would ad-lib stuff that was a little too advanced for his character because I wanted one of the characters. To me, one of the villains in the movie is a lack of imagination, and I just see that Kyle had no imagination. That's why everything's fag or stupid or dumb. But he did add that chili dog line, and I go to public high school, so I know that a lot. So we're editing the movie, and it's coming down to that time where you're deciding what stays and goes, and I call him up, I go, Daryl, what's chili dog again? He goes, let him go, yeah, because it gets weirder. Go ahead.
Okay, well, chili dogging, it's when someone craps on your chest. And then, so this was actually I was in school when Bobcat called, I was
Yeah.
in my anatomy class, my teacher was giving a lecture, and I ducked behind a desk, and I was like, hello? And he asked me, what's chili dog? Oh, it's when someone craps on your chest. He goes, oh, okay.
Well, but I didn't know he was in school, which makes it even weirder. He's talking shit on someone's chest. And then I go, hey, what have you been up to? He goes, I just got my license. And I'm like, hey, I gotta go. This is really weird. I'm a grown man talking to a kid about crapping on someone's chest.
I'd like to ask, how would you compare your feelings about the experience of performing comedy as opposed to writing and directing it? Which is more fun, which is more satisfying a process for you in the end?
Well, I don't, like 3 weeks ago, my answer would have been that I hate stand-up and I like making movies, but about 3 weeks ago, I decided to jettison the persona people know me for, and I kind of started enjoying doing stand-up again. And trust me, when I'm on the road, it goes over like a bad fart. Please welcome Bobcat Goldthwait. I go, hi, how are you? And they're like, do the voice. Do the Grover. We didn't fucking pay money to see this, and it doesn't help that like Winslow's usually a week or two before me doing helicopter farts for 45 minutes. So, I do enjoy, I really, if I could keep making movies, that's why I hope I can keep making movies, and I hope I can keep making them really tiny and really small, so I don't have to, I do stand-up so I can make movies, is how I afford to keep making movies, but, I want to, I just don't want to, I'm not naive enough to think that I could get involved in the studio system and they would greenlight anything like this, I don't even bother wasting their time. I mean, on the last movie, I had if you didn't see Sleeping Dogs Lie, there's there's a dog blowjob in it, and I really don't mean to, whatever. So, a studio executive gave me this note, could you just jerk off the dog? I was like, no, I don't. No, that's not my vision. I started talking about that movie we did. I shot in 2 weeks with a crew from Craigslist, and the reason I mention that, and some of my friends who are in this movie, and then some unknowns, and the only reason I stress that is I'm not bragging, but for me, it really exceeded my expectations. I had this little tiny movie. I just wrote it to write a movie. I didn't think about filming it, and then what happened was it ended up in Sundance. Now the reason I say this is because even if you don't like the trajectory I'm on, and you don't enjoy the movies I'm making, I hope it does inspire you to just fucking make a movie, because it costs 50 grand. That's a lot of money, but when you think about it,
Did Robin Williams shave his chest, or is it just going gray?
Robin, being nude was his idea. I was just watching the movie, and I just saw it a week ago with his daughter, and she's like, thanks for giving me the heads up that I was going to see my dad's hog. You don't think about, oh yeah, your dad's dick is in the movie. So he shows up for that scene, and he had shaved, and I was like, you really cost me the Bear audience. And he said it took 2 women a long time. He said they had to take a break, and one of them said she got carpal tunnel. I saw his penis a lot that day. By the way, I was sitting there just staring, and it just hit me the other day. I was like, yeah, I saw you nude all day. Why are you insecure about anything? He's always like trying to please, and so, Jesus, if I had a dick like that, I'd be fucking pantless right now. Hey, how you doing? Do you like the movie? I don't give a fuck. Check it out. How do you like me now, bitches?